Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. With the Major 2 qualifiers just about to kick off once again, Dashy has revealed that he actually really enjoys playing Call of Duty Vanguard on a professional level. That might make sense given how good OpTic seem to be at the present time. But Zero is also revealing that based on the snaking he saw in the grand finals at Major 1, he's going to start taking it to another level. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, this is just from the Call of Duty League. Pretty cool stuff, especially because the Minnesota Rokkr Major 2 coming up relatively soon. Like the watch parties they do, Minnesota, pretty sure maybe Toronto have done a couple or some other teams as well. Minnesota are definitely the best of the bunch in terms of these kind of local activations they've done with this organization. So really cool stuff. We'll see how that actually works out at the Major itself. This also just from Crowd I thought was really cool, the content he's been coming out with lately. He's got this like massive breakdown kind of podcast thing he does, reviewing all the matches from the weekends. He's also done some Major 1 vlogs, saw one as well from Envoy, saw some videos as well from Simp. The content in the COD scene lately has been out of control. Really happy with the way all the players are like putting the vlogs out like they were back in the day. The streams have been like really entertaining as well. So yeah, just a good time to be involved in the COD scene, to be honest, and an entertaining time for sure. This also from the flag I did want to mention real quick because I didn't think it was pretty funny, to be honest. That Kenny, like there was some talk the other day when they lost to OpTic. That oh my god, like Kenny, why is he smiling on camera after they lose or win a map or something? Like, you know, it should be so disrespectful or whatever. Like how people think Kenny should act when he gets a 4-piece. So yeah, I just thought it was pretty good. Let's crack right on. So this is what Dashy has to say. Vanguard is low-key lit. So this is the thing, right? Of course, Dashy, very good at this game. His stats so far, he was just recently voted in kind of Crone's MVP polling rankings or whatever to be the #1 player in the entire game. Certainly he gets the MVP. I'm pretty sure the CDL actually gave him the official MVP award. I'm pretty sure they haven't done an MVP yet so far. I guess they've done an MVP of like a Season 1, Season 2, but they haven't done an event MVP officially, and I'm pretty sure they didn't give it to him at the event. But then when they played Thieves this weekend, it came up on the screen that he was the MVP for Major 1. So, you know, I guess congratulations, right, Dashy? He actually got MVP again after all these years, after winning it at Vegas 2018. But still, the CDL's doing MVPs again, I suppose, even though not mentioning them in the events. I don't really know what the CDL's playing at sometimes. Just give us a trophy for the next event, and that would be a step in the right direction. But, I mean, yeah, Dashy, of course, having a good time on this game. That, well, makes sense, right, given that he's so good at it. But he's actually said this for quite some time, that he really enjoys playing Call of Duty Vanguard. Not just in scrims and in matches, but actually just, well, the game itself in general as well. So, well, some more discussion about this. Like, Merc seems to maybe agree, maybe not agree, who knows. Auto is pretty good, he says. Of course, maybe as an AR player, it's more fun. But then again, I'm pretty sure there was actually some talk from Illy and Attach on the Stay Attach podcast that the auto on LAN is just way better than it is online. Like, the MP40 is the dominant online gun, and then the auto is just ridiculous on LAN. So maybe Dashy's having an even better time with it. But, you know, get rid of all the maps not named Bacage low key. They're putting a Dashy landmark on Tuscan. You sure about that? Think if we put Tuscan in the same tier as Raid or Stand Up, if they had that landmark, Green will vote in favor of yes, by the way. So, yeah, of course, Dashy ridiculous at Tuscan. All the respawns on Tuscan. This guy's absolutely out of control. I do wonder if they could do some sort of like, if you guys follow Counter-Strike at all, you'll know that any like famous moments that happen in the game, not all of them, but quite often they put like graffitis down to the Cold Zero jumping, like a no-scope 4K with Yorp. There's like, there's a graffiti that kind of commemorates that play. There's also the one on, well, it's also on Overpass. It's the Olaf when he ninja diffused in the fire. There's that thing there. There's quite a few of them around a load of CSGO maps. The simple, you know, on Cash, for example, the jumping double up no-scope that he had. Like, they've kind of commemorated famous plays in the game itself. Now, of course, in Call of Duty, like, things change every year. But if there was, like, just a ridiculous play, like, you know, someone gets a 1v4 or something in a particular spot or pulls off something crazy, like, it would be really cool if the developers could put something down in the game to actually commemorate that. Of course, it only would last for a year or whatever. But as Merc is saying, a Dashy landmark on Tuscan might be worthwhile, honestly, just putting a Dashy landmark, like, or something to commemorate Dashy over by that kind of plat area, defending the B bomb or the B control points, because that's where he's just, like, his KD in that vicinity must be, like, at least a 2. Now, Doug Martin agrees with Dashy that this game is great. Vanguard is fun, bro. Definitely top 5. He reckons top 5 COD of all time, which I think is quite ambitious. Like, honestly, I've barely touched the game since November, to be perfectly honest. I think if I was as good as Dashy, I'd probably be having a really reasonable good time. But still, Sensor seems to enjoy it as well. Don't really agree with this tank, but who knows? Each to their own opinion. It's quite interesting that Dashy has to say this, to be honest, because, you know, most players do agree this game isn't the greatest. And that's the thing. The FaZe guys even said quite recently, they're not really, and I think RC said it specifically, not really having particularly all that much fun playing this game, not having the greatest time. Like, the team that tends to enjoy the game the most is probably going to play it the most, probably going to be the best over the course of the year. That is at least one way of looking at it. I'll share this clip actually that I saw on the OpTic podcast, I believe it was a few episodes ago now, but it just shows that Dashy and Scump as well have had this opinion for quite some time. They actually really enjoy playing this game on a competitive level.
I'm going to say this right now because I know this is not a topic, but I actually enjoy this game. Is this weird? That,
Whoa.
Nah,
You're going to catch some heat for that.
Nah, this game,
I would compare this game to like a AW.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like so. It's like fun just to play. Like I don't know. To be
it's like super cracked and like
super cracked.
You can get like turnt on like your movement and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would say this game's like AW because like AW was really fun competitively, but pubs in AW were not very good.
Yeah. So it's kind of like
like this game. Like this game's fun competitively.
When we're scrimming, I think I'm actually like enjoying it.
Yeah, no, scrimming is fun. I would say it's not as fun to play as AW, but
what about to watch?
To watch, it's absolute madness.
So Scump even comparing it to Advanced Warfare, right? Saying, okay, it's probably not quite as fun as Advanced Warfare, but still, on the whole, a pretty enjoyable game. They tend to be having a good time playing it. And I've always found that Scump as a player especially has always been the best on games that he's enjoyed playing the most. Like, you guys remember back in World War II when he really didn't have a tough time. Well, he had a tough time on that game, right? Every year before then, he generally really enjoyed the Call of Duties, made so much content on his YouTube channel, just enjoyed playing the game, pubs, anything he'd get his hands on. World War II really changed around on that front, and generally Scump's best games have been the one that he actually enjoys playing the most. And I think that's a pretty reasonable correlation to draw, to be perfectly honest. Let's dive into this as well then, though, because snaking has been a big discussion, especially going into the major. Is it GA'd? Is it allowed? Can you really GA it? Because of course some players, I mean, well, Zero was kind of calling out Cellium back here on the 7th of March. Like, look at this guy just snaking me over and over again. Arcitys comes back and says, hang on a second, lads. Like, you're doing it very blatantly, or your team is doing it very blatantly in this matchup. Here goes Gizmo in the window right here. And Zero is basically saying, look, if Cell's going to do it on the other team, I'm going to do it right back. Now, there was some talk actually the fact that Shotzzy was kind of seen using this in the grand finals. The guys actually talked about it on stream, I believe, last night. So there was maybe one moment in particular where Shotzzy was doing it in the grand finals, and like he was basically like, look, I'm going to do anything to win in that particular situation. And then Zero comes on and says, well, look, if you're going to say, well, I'm going to use it to win, then I effectively have the permission from the green wall to do exactly the same thing.
Serious question: is snaking GA'd?
No. Is snaking GA'd?
Yeah.
No, bro. It's not GA'd, but like it's like
it's
if you're doing it.
Wait, you be snaking all the time. Don't lie, you snake.
Yeah. No, I did. No, wait, wait, listen. That was the first time, and I was in finals, bro. I was like, nah, I'm winning. Bro, wait, that was actually my thought process.
I mean, the issue crazy. If you're 1v1,
bro, I swear to God, I was like, I'm winning this. I don't give a.
Listen, I've just heard.
And I just want you to know that I have no problem with that. I love that. I love that answer. I love the answer.
Whatever it takes, baby. I have approval from the green brick that I am now allowed to snake because Ant done it in a final. So all of you can go suck my dong.
There we go.
Me next event.
Trey is the king of snaking, man.
Exactly.
An event on it, man.
So if you guys have been around a fair few years, you'll know that back in 2017, when Splice and 001 MVP for this event won the Stage 1 playoffs back in Infinite Warfare, that event was where snaking was probably the worst it's ever been. I believe that even Attach was saying that he was playing some sort of match, some sort of GB game or wager or something on Infinite Warfare against Illy and Cellium and the kind of SnD crew as it was at the time, and they basically taught the pros about snaking. Like Cellium, I'm pretty sure it actually might have been Cellium, I think, as Attach mentioned by name in the episode. There was that kind of snaking at one of the head glitches on Retaliation, and it was so egregious in that game. Like, if you actually did the crouch up and down, like slightly go prone then stand up again, you basically were invisible behind the head glitch. It was so hard to kill you. Like, it was so bad before. I'm pretty sure they eventually GA'd it or patched it somehow. But anyway, this event in Stage 1 was where snaking was probably at its peak, where Splice were just the best team at snaking, pretty much. Like, the hardpoints were just absurd. People were just snaking constantly behind head glitches. It was the worst I've ever seen it, to be honest. And I mean, Zero and the guys actually made the most of it and managed to win that event. People look back at this event kind of as like the snaking championship, because that's when it was kind of in full force, and Splice did it at the best in fairness, and probably even outside of that, were still the best team. But yeah, still plenty of talk about that, right? Because if Zero is saying, well, okay, maybe I've got a second then, if Shotzy's going to say, well, yeah, I'll use it in key moments, it's not really GA'd, it's kind of frowned upon, but it's not really GA'd, especially if you're playing FaZe in the grand finals, you're probably going to pull it out, as Shotzzy clearly did right here. And Zero is saying, okay, maybe I'll do something similar actually when we next come to it, right? So look, who knows where this is going to go, but at some point, I'm pretty sure in Infinite Warfare, like, people started to use it, and then as it got more and more towards the important events, such as the Stage 1 playoffs, then it just got completely rampant, right? Because everyone was using it, and then it's kind of just a vicious cycle where, well, because he's using it, I'm going to use it. Like, well, if I don't use it and he's using it, he's going to get an advantage. So who knows if that does happen here? We just get more and more snaking until the point where it becomes so just frustrating to watch. There's something has to be done about it. Who knows? Maybe that's the direction we could take going forwards. This also, as we close down the video, I thought was a fantastic graphic the Lion Man put together here. This is is the best search and destroy KD at every event in Call of Duty history where the stats have been archived. Unfortunately, the Black Ops 3 stats, whenever I've tried to find them, I just can't find Black Ops 3 stats. It's really frustrating because I love the Black Ops 3, the game, the event and everything, but pretty much Black Ops 3, you can barely find any stats, unfortunately. But outside of that, this is what the graphic looks like. So just absolutely fantastic, to be honest. This is all the way from back in, I'll just share this real quick, Cold Champs 2013, Jerd at 1.91. But yeah, the best player in terms of search KD at every single event in Call of Duty history goes as follows. I mean, look at these names. Takes me back, to be honest, seeing names like Killer, I mean, even like Khalifa, right, UMG California with a 1.5. Nature back at NA Regionals and X Games with a 1.5 and a 1.76 respectively. The highest ones of all time. Anything above a 2 is just pretty absurd. And well, Dashy has the highest at a 2.17 back at CWL Vegas 2018. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a 1.44 overall, but in search only he had a 2.2, which I'm pretty insane actually, just because that was like an entire event in open brackets. Some of these tournaments, I reckon that some players only played like 2 or 3 matches, so obviously not too representative in terms of sample size, but this one is very impressive. Scump also had a 2.13 back at CDL London. That was a LAN event, so definitely some credence to take from that one as well. Then right behind that was actually Shane back in Gfinity Spring in Advanced Warfare, so yeah, just so many legendary names, legendary moments. The lowest KD, I believe, ever is a 1.24. So out of any event in Call of Duty history, the highest KD anyone's ever got in COD history is aBeZy with a 1.24 back at Atlanta in 2020. But yeah, lately it hasn't been crazy. I mean, Simp at CDL Toronto had a 2.0. Simp already, like, I'm already seeing Simp's name, 3 times here, which may even tie or like equal the most on this list, which is pretty impressive given he hasn't been around all that long. Nature's happy mad about it. I would say my search and destroy and Ghost was pretty tippable, and of course, well, this is the famous moment. Nature's the peacock, you gotta let him fly, man, with the with the silenced MTAR, absolute demon here on Octane search and destroy back in the day. But yeah, just sends me back to some good times, to be honest, in COD history. I'll just let this play out, to be honest. He gets the final kill up in whatever this building was called, Top Pawn Shop or whatever. And just to mention before we close out the video, then these are the games coming up this week. So Royal Ravens Legion at Surge versus OpTic. The real highlights of the week for me, to be honest, Subliners versus Paris Legion. See if New York's team can actually do well, whatever they decide to bring to the party on this one. And then, of course, on the Sunday, there's a couple of great games. I think there's FaZe versus Ultra is a pretty exciting one. Rokkr versus Thieves, honestly, is also one I'm keeping my eyes on, because this is going to be a big test for Thieves, whether their search and destroy is improved, playing arguably one of the best SnD teams in the entire league in Minnesota. But very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button, tells your YouTube gods it's a good video, others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always, take care, and I will see you next time.